We find ourselves somehow in the last Sunday service of the term, of the academic year, in fact. Normally, by this point, we'd have a bit of history to look back on. Oh, do you remember when? No. How about when we went to? Again, no. Those who have been around for a while are reliant on past memories of chaplaincy life, and those who are new to campus are having to trust that normally it's really busy and there are lots of things going on. Honest. Weird old year. I wonder how your faith finds you at the end of this academic year. If you were going to attach a metaphor to your faith, what might it be? A resilient, adaptable Pacamac waterproof coat, perhaps? A rather squashed and neglected banana at the bottom of the disused bag, maybe? Or perhaps it's another thing to ignore and procrastinate from. The questions being too big, too unwieldy in such a time of uncertainty. Put it in a cupboard. Keep moving. There are lots of things people do with and to their faith to cope in a time of uncertainty. And as we look out to an uncertain summer, I invite us to explore a couple of the popular ways that we can see in our readings today. Within our Old Testament readings, we have one of the most misquoted verses of all time. I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord. Here is faith coping strategy number 1. God has a plan for me, so all of this will make sense in due course. We have an image of this plan written down. It has steps and dates and milestones. We don't get to see the whole picture, but we work through it one step at a time. In 2 Corinthians, Paul is addressing the criticism of his opponents who say he can't possibly be following the will of God as he suffered too much. If someone was doing everything right in God's eyes, they say, their life should be simple and light. Paul agrees with this in a way, but looks way beyond the now to when the all right will come. Here is faith coping strategy number 2. This is all irrelevant anyway. I'll keep my eyes fixed on life beyond the now, fixed on heaven. There is a very well-known saying within the Christian tradition that, when misused, appears to back up these 2 coping strategies, and I want to suggest today that there is so much more than these strategies might suggest. The phrase is, all shall be well, and all shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well. These are the words of Julian of Norwich, written in her Revelations of Divine Love in the 13th century, probably the first book written by a woman in the English language. It's natural that we scramble for meaning in the seemingly meaninglessness, that we seek to soothe ourselves and others with platitudes rather than face the tumult of emotions going on inside us. And at first glance, our readings might encourage such an approach. But let's look again. First, plans. Who is this God who apparently has a plan for our whole life set out? They sound rather controlling. Not the God of freedom Mark and I talk about and point to in chaplaincy services. We need to look again at the context of this passage. It's Jeremiah speaking to the Jewish people who find themselves in exile. It's not aimed at individuals. It's a promise for the whole of the people of God. So even if we boldly lift out these verses and apply them to the church, we need to accept that this passage does not tell me that my life has one track in it. The plan God has is for God's people and the whole world. And we know through the meta-narrative of the Bible that this plan is ultimately for reconciliation to abound. That is where we are collectively heading. But, and I'm sorry if this is tricky, that doesn't mean God has a Gantt chart of your life. God has a plan for the world. God has dreams for you. And like the best kind of parent, these dreams don't box us in or limit us or control us. They encourage us to look up, look beyond, and dream big for ourselves and others. Dreams are liberating. God sees your potential, not the train track of your life, but the possibilities ahead of you. Your calling is far deeper than what you will do in your life. Your call is about who you are. Paul, in our New Testament reading, gets this. He is able to look beyond, but he is not trying to diminish suffering. All shall be well is not a platitude that instructs us to pull our socks up, march on, and ignore the pain. Find the plan, stick to the plan, and ignore all obstacles. All shall be well is a promise of some hope, though, an invitation to lift one's eyes for a moment in the pain of suffering, that there is more to life than we can see and physically touch. That our God, our Trinity of love, continues to reach out to us. That our God of dreams longs for us to be caught up in those dreams, to get glimpses of the potential of our lives with Christ at the centre of them, to be courageous and stay sometimes, to be courageous and go on others. This is where courage and extraordinary faith is, to pay attention to how we are, how we really are, and to do that for one another. Julian's experiences with divine love neither explain suffering nor say it doesn't matter. Somehow, we come to the God in whom all things will be well, through suffering, through love, and through death. All shall be well, all shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well. No, really, they will. Amen.